Well, live to Dover now to get the very latest with Mark. And Mark, it was fascinating to see those rigid inflatables. Not, of course, the people coming across the channel, but our own armed forces on patrol there. How widespread is this operation? What have we learnt so far about it?
Well, of course, the military have been involved really since April of last year, when Boris Johnson and then Home Secretary Priti Patel announced that the Royal Navy and the military would be taking over the operations in the English Channel from Border Force to more effectively get to grips with what was happening out there. But this is a new development, really. The plainclothes military personnel, not in significant numbers, but on some of the beaches where they know that small boats have made it to shore in recent months, because we know with the Albanians in particular, they don't want to enter, most of them, the asylum system. Many of them are coming across here to work in the illegal economy, some of them to go into criminality, so they're trying to get to the shore, and some have made it. So this is part of the response to that, and the rigid inflatables as well from the military zipping up and down the coastline as well, just looking for any of those boats that might have got through the Border Force and the Royal Navy vessels further out in the Channel. It's not a great day out in the Channel today, Mark. The weather's closed in, as we said. It was just a short weather window yesterday. But I can tell you that members of the Home Affairs Select Committee are across in France today. They actually arrived yesterday. They saw a migrant camp over there today. They are meeting with members of the French police and politicians across near Calais. An outspoken member of the Home Affairs Select Committee, the Conservative MP Lee Anderson, has been joining a gendarmerie patrol today. He's just filed a clip actually on Twitter. We could just take a look at that.
Beach patrol with a member of the gendarme. This is excellent. So I'm just going to show you. I'll turn it round. So that's what we can see now. It's not till you get here that you actually realise how much work's going into this. I know it feels like we're fighting a losing battle, but there's a lot of work going off this side of the Channel to stop the boats. But you know, I've come to the conclusion that it's not what you do here, it's what we do at home. There's got to be a deterrent to stop this, because if we can get that deterrent right, then you wouldn't need these people out here patrolling the beaches.
Certainly, I think deterrence on that side of the Channel, or this side of the Channel, is a key factor, but also going after the criminal gangs on the other side of the Channel will be crucial, I think, in trying to disrupt the model and break the model of the criminal gangs. It comes, Mark, as the Labour Party have today put out some analysis they've carried out of the figures last year, and they estimate that the criminal gangs who are pushing these boats out into the English Channel made £183 million during the course of last year.
Yeah, and as they've said before, why bother smuggling drugs when you can make more money smuggling people? But just to return to what we've seen in action, if you like, in the sea there and on the beaches, as you say, what's the legal basis now for these plainclothes military personnel? Do they have powers of detention and arrest? And who is policing them, if you like?
Well, no more so than any civilian. They're really just spotters, Mark. If they see a boat coming ashore, they'll be able to radio into Border Force and the police, who will then respond to detain those that have arrived under immigration laws before they're then taken for processing. And as we know, the vast majority will then claim asylum if that happens. So they're not there in any capacity to detain and arrest people, as far as we know, but certainly in a surveillance and spotting capacity, so that they know if a beach landing has taken place, and they can quickly get the resources to respond to that.
Yeah, and as you say, we can see the flag blowing there behind you, the Union Jack, an indication perhaps the weather may bring a little bit of respite for all those authorities at the moment. The numbers down today, it seems.
Well, that's been the one thing that's really taken the pressure of Rishi Sunak's government in recent months. We've had, since November, the year before, you remember, was the busiest month of that year for migrant arrivals. This past November, it was pretty windy for most of that month, again in December, and now into January. There are only a few days where the weather breaks enough for the boats to be able to come across, but of course when they do, they try to get across in numbers. Yesterday there were lots of attempts. We were hearing that maybe about 1,000 might attempt the crossing. We know of about 8 boats that didn't make it as far as UK waters. We're told another 8 did make it here to the UK. So it demonstrates quite starkly, I think, Mark, how any time the weather conditions allow, whatever the politicians say, the boats are back, and they're back in significant numbers.